am not going to waste any time with getting into today's topic of conversation. I have so much that I want to bring through around what I'd be doing if I desired to scale my business to consistent 5K cash months. Now, when we speak about consistent 5K cash months, I mean every single month you're receiving 5K cash minimum inside of your business. Now, this is such a powerful conversation that I'm about to bring to the surface, and I have witnessed so many of my clients use what I'm about to say to amplify and add fuel to their business time and time again, in a way that is creating physical cash results, guaranteeing really high volumes of reoccurring cash flow, and really allowing them to scale to that consistent 5K cash mark. Now, the first thing that I'd be doing is anchoring into my business. Now, you might be sat there and be like, but I'm anchored into my business. Like, I'm doing the things, I'm creating the content. And to me, that's not what anchoring into your business really means. Anchoring into your business is about you giving yourself permission to understand who you are, what you create, and how you serve your community. Now, this sounds like very simple, basic things, but a lot of people who are yet to scale 5K consistent cash months, where they're leaving money on the table is by not making it obvious who they are, how they serve, and the tangible results that they're creating for their clients. If somebody's going to buy from you, they want to be able to see and identify very, very quickly your leadership. And if your leadership is not visible, they're going to buy from the person whose leadership is visible. They want to be able to identify very, very quickly what you can do for them inside of their business. Because once they know what you can do for them, you're going to collapse time and you're going to get to that fuck yes much faster. Now, if you feel like you're continuously selling to your audience, but they're not making that decision to buy from you in this fast-paced motion, I would say that they can't see your leadership and they can't see how you serve them. And you can be telling your audience what you do for them, but if they're not seeing you go first, that can be a huge energetic leak. Because anybody can say, hey, I can get you to your first 5K cash month. But if you're sat there saying those things and you haven't got yourself to your own 5K cash month, you're going to feel the imposter syndrome. And therefore, there's going to be a leakage of energy. You have to sit down and give yourself permission to say, what is my mentorship of self that is going to get me to my 5K cash month, so that when I'm sharing this with my audience, I can do this powerfully. Rather than communicating, I can get you to your 5K cash month, which you're going to struggle to feel confident in. What about if you drop into, okay, let me show you how to feel more fulfilled in your business. Let me show you how to increase your sales. Nobody needs you to say the 5K mark if you don't feel embodied in the 5K mark. But by stretching yourself to do what you're ready for your clients to do, you're going to create this challenged energy where you can authentically sit there and say, this works, and I know this works, and I know it because I've got results, and I'm leading first, so now I get to ripple back to you. It's not about what you're saying, it's about who you are. And if I come to your profile as a 7-figure business owner, I want to be able to say, this person can hold me, not because of how much money they've made, but because of how they're leading themselves, how they're leading their community, how they're showcasing their leadership, and their voice and communication of what they're going to do for me and how they're going to shift things in my world. And if I can't see that, I'm out. I'm not going to make an investment. Those that are an absolute priority for me. And I get asked time and time and time again of what makes you invest as a 7-figure business mentor. Now, for me, my current mentor is $80,000 a year. I make very, very big investments in myself. I choose myself at a very, very high level, and I choose to work with the best of the best because I'm not available for anything less. Now, in doing that and in committing to that, what makes me say yes is how somebody else is showcasing, I'm leading from the front first, my mission, my values, and my shifts are visible. That's it. That's as simple as it. That is it. Somebody makes me feel fucking excited, not by how much money they're making, but by leading first, and let me see that they're leading first through the energy and the experience that's a part of their space. Now, if you're sat here and you don't feel like your community or your business has an energy or an experience, again, this is how you're leaking fluid, because your business isn't just created from you. is created from the experience that you're creating. And if you can sit there and say, what is the experience that I desire to create? Such as the Misfits, I want that as an engaged community where people feel seen, valued, heard, where there's open conversation, where people can drop in and they can ask intentional questions and we riff on it on the YouTube and all of the things. I have to lead that. And I have to lead that in a way that says, how can I create this experience so that when you guys enter my world, you feel the way that I desire you to feel? The second thing that I'd be really, really owning in on, going from 0 to 5K, is my communication. Now, if you're creating content that is not converting, it's a you fucking problem. I'm sorry, I'm going to be the hard ass right now. It's a you problem. And the reason it's a you problem is you need to look at what is it about your content that your audience is not digesting. And a lot of the time it's that you're speaking at them rather than with them. And my hot audience workshop will help you understand what I mean by that. And the other thing is, you aren't giving yourself chance to really understand what your audience want to conversate about. Like, do you actually know what your audience need? Do you actually know what your audience want? Because when you can create offers and communication that speak to what they want and need, you're guaranteed that you're going to sell. When I look at this YouTube, I'm creating based on what my community has said they want and what they need time and time and time and time again. And I'm filling that gap. When I created my content creation package, again, I was speaking to what my audience said they wanted and needed, because I was witnessing, okay, yes, I can tell them to hold capacity and deepen their communication, but unless I'm showing them what that means, they don't get it. By showing them what that meant through the content package, I was speaking to what they were missing in a way that allowed people to say, I want this, I'm ready to lean in and make very fast-paced decisions. So do you know what your audience need? Third of all, and this is my most exciting because this is the thing that really shifted my business, when I started to prioritize reoccurring income. Now, before I got to regulating, I didn't actually get to 5K. I got to 10K and regulated from there. But before I started making that consistent cash flow, I was focused on one-off payments. And one-off payments was such a downplay for me because I was focused on, bringing in money for that month. And that is exhausting as an entrepreneur to have to go from 0 to 5K every single month on one-off payments. If you desire to regulate money in your nervous system and make consistent high cash months, then you have to give yourself permission to prioritize reoccurring money. Because by prioritizing reoccurring money and making reoccurring money your main focus, you're going to start to regulate having and receiving at a level time and time and time and time again in a way that allows you to stack income without being exhausted. Because if you're already starting next month on 3K, it's equally, and if not more so, more powerful to be able to just build the next 2K of stacked income than to have to start from ground zero again. So reoccurring income is your most important, and I would lead with your reoccurring package first, whether that be a membership, whether that be, a group mastermind, a program, whether that be a membership. I've even got salon owners that have started doing memberships in their business because we're trying to prioritize these reoccurring incomes. Reoccurring income has to be your priority if you want to get to your 5K mark in a sustainable way. Take up the space. Take up the goddamn space. My clients that get rapid shift are the ones that are taking up the space. The ones that come into my container, that ask the questions, that wear their heart on their sleeve, that be vulnerable, that open up, they're the ones that are getting the shifts. Because you have to take up the space. If you want to be guided and mentored right now into your biggest evolution, whatever space you're in, take up the space. The ones that are in the Misfits, taking up the space, asking the questions whilst also sharing their leadership and their business, they're the ones that are getting the sales. The ones that sit in the background, you're not creating a network for yourself. Business is much easier when you have a network for yourself. Every mastermind I've joined, every membership I've joined, every group program I've joined, I have made clients from those spaces. And I've made clients from those spaces because I've networked in a way that allows myself to be a learner, yet also leader of my craft. And I'm not saying go and pitch yourself in other people's spaces, but I am saying be authentic in your value of sisterhood, take up the space, honor a space and community, celebrate other people in the community, ask questions in the community, You know, when I look at the Misfits, that is a space where you guys can go and ask questions, and I'm going to riff on it on YouTube. If you're not asking those questions, you're not getting the guidance. You don't have to be investing 10K to experience rapid shifts, but you do have to take up the space and allow yourself to be seen and heard so that you can receive what it is that you want. Now, in taking up the space, is your leadership seen in more than just your audience? Because if all you're doing is speaking to the same audience, what if the people who really want to work with you are in somebody else's audience? Are you allowing yourself to take up the space? Maybe collaborating on podcasts, posting in other people's space, posting in other people's groups. Like, these are really powerful things that are going to keep the energy and the communication flowing. And again, inside the Hot Audience Workshop, I really do focus on the strategies that are going to help you to create and formulate posts that will build relationship and get you networking and get you creating with your audience. So if you haven't yet dived into that, definitely I'll drop the link down below and you can go and purchase that. But visibility is key. 0 to 5K, I cannot stress how important visibility is. If you want to get to a point of receiving 50K cash months because people just click a link and buy from you, you have to get your face, name, and energy out there. And the beginning of my business, my face, name, energy was out there. And that is what's created a community that now people just click a link and buy from me. And I had to have the stamina and the consistency to say, I'm going to keep doing this, and I'm going to keep showing up for this, and I'm going to keep committing to this so that people could start to see me and know me. And if it took them time, whatever, because I'm committed to myself and I'm going to keep doing the thing. And the other thing, which is total side note, but you're getting me fueled and excited right now, you guys, is be direct. Be direct with the sale. Nobody needs your fluffy ass content about who you are and what you're offering. Be direct, because the more direct you can be and the more you can vocalize that directness, the more your audience are going to start to really understand the excitement and the fuel and the magic. And again, I speak about the excitement in Hot Audience, and this wasn't meant to be a pitch for Hot Audience, but damn, when I've got a solution to your problems, I'm going to share it. So anyway, that is my top tips on going from 0 to 5K. Let me know in the comments how powerful you found this, if there's anything you've taken away from this. And again, your questions that you have around scaling a business, because I will dive in and answer those questions on my future daily riffs.